Hello, everyone. It's Art Russell here again at thinktwice.me, where I share articles about the nature of consciousness, spirituality, and the law of attraction. Today, I'm going to offer a rather long presentation compared to my usual short videos in an effort to dispel some of the misconceptions related to the law of attraction. I know a lot of people that don't believe in it at all, and then there's other people who are applying it maybe with mixed degrees of success, but I'd like to help dispel some of the misconceptions to help you manifest more of what you desire in life. I began studying the law of attraction soon after my father passed when I was about 16. So by 19, I was reading books like Think and Grow Rich. And at the time, I clearly didn't understand it. It's still not one of my favorite books. I've read about 100 books or so about the law of attraction, and it's not one of my favorites, but there's certainly a lot to be reaped from reading it. It was commissioned by by Andrew Carnegie, who was one of the wealthiest men of the world at that time, and he commissioned Napoleon Hill to write it for him. To write it after introducing him, it's reported to over 500 wealthy, successful people in the world. At the time, I didn't understand the message within it. I didn't see how thinking could help you grow rich. I thought if you came up with what you desired and were motivated and worked hard, that was the way. And I made efforts at that over the years. But it's not the secret they're talking about. It's one of the reasons that Napoleon Hill wrote in the book something similar to this. Perish the thought that you believe honesty and hard work is the pathway to riches, because it's clearly not. I used the law of attraction over the years with mixed degrees of success. I could understand how our thinking played a part, let's say in an example of playing golf. And I say you don't sink the putt by thinking you're going to miss it. You have to believe. But if you believe you're the doer, that's a misconception. And I didn't understand this. I also used affirmations when I was taking long motorcycle rides over the last 10 years. I could see that, but I thought that I was the doer at the time. To understand the law of attraction fully, at least to a greater degree, we have to understand the difference between the materialist paradigm of reality, that this world is actually made of matter, to understand that it's not. I'm going out on a limb here with many others by stating that it only appears to be made of matter. Quantum physics has known for well over 100 years that this world is not made of matter. For instance, atoms, which were once thought to be the basic building blocks of matter, of our world, are in themselves 99.999% empty space. So how can you get anything solid out of that? That's the point here. So we're moving from, with our understanding, we're moving from a materialist paradigm of the world to an idealist, where everything is actually a thought. And it's at this level, and knowing our true nature, that we're going to apply the law of attraction more effectively. It's always working, it's always on. But when you know some secrets, you can manipulate your reality a little more deeply. So let's start today with one of the books I studied called The Master Key System by Charles F. Hannell. He was a businessman, a very successful businessman, and this book first came out in 1912. I'm going to refer here to a passage on page 90. I read this book 15 to 20 times, gaining more knowledge every time. But it wasn't only until the last 5 or 6 reads, let's say, it sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But anyway, I'm driven at times, that I caught this sentence on page 90. It is the few who know that the things which they see are only effects and understand the causes by which these effects were brought into existence. So that's one of the keys in deepening our understanding. And then I'd like to read a sentence to you from the Kabbalion. It's a mystical book, an esoteric book, mystical teachings that's often related to the law of attraction. And it's the first principle. And the first principle in the Kabbalion states this: the all is mind, the universe is mental. Now, when I first read that, I'll be quite honest, I thought the book was mental. I just couldn't see it. I mean, our reality is very, very convincing here, and it's illusion. The next book that we'll go to is one of the books that I read in connection with the law of attraction, and it's called The Law of Success by Paramahansa Yogananda. And on page 13, under the chapter heading You Can Control Destiny, it states a very short sentence, but I've highlighted it in this book. Mind is the creator of everything. Mind, not you and matter. Matter is an appearance. It's not reality. And your reality is, under this paradigm, the idealist or idealism paradigm, is that to have any experience, all you need is consciousness. All experiences are in consciousness. How could you have an experience without consciousness? It's impossible. Consciousness is the linchpin. That's what some call God. I did in my book entitled This Taste of Flesh and Bones, and I'm quite comfortable with it. But if you'd rather call it by scientific terms the unified field, or some other term, source, the universe, doesn't really matter what you call it. So that's another key that points to a deeper understanding that mind is the creator of everything. Now, can you see that what the law of attraction is telling you? If you believe, and if you put feeling, if you energize your thoughts with feeling, believing as though you have what you desire now, that this can help you with understanding how you're actually going to create, be a co-creator in what you desire in your life. More health, more wealth, better relationships. So we'll move on to another book, I Am That. It's a book of talks that were chronicled. They were chronicled with Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. I actually love this book. I'm on my 7th read, not because I need to, but I love it. I just get something more from it every time. So seekers would go to Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, who realized the truth of his being when he was 37. He went to a guru when he was 34, and the guru told him, you are the supreme, right here, right now, and just concentrate on I am. Just I am. And the point I'd like to make from this book is that a seeker came to him and asked him, which comes first, the world or the seeker? Or which rises first? And he said, both. They both arise together. Your body and the world arise together. Now that's quite a change, isn't it, in our way of thinking? We assume that the world is there when our mind is off at night, and we assume that our body is there too. What I'm saying is that's illusion or delusion. Let's move on from that to The Power of Awareness, which is a book written by Neville Goddard. Now, Neville Goddard was originally from the Barbados, I believe, and he lectured in the 50s and 60s extensively in the US about the law of attraction, or it was sometimes referred to him as the law of assumption. The point I'd like to share in this thin book, but it's still in print today. I mean, almost all of his are, from what I know. I've read 6 or 8 of them. Is under chapter 21. And I'm just going to read from it here to see if I can help you manifest more of what you desire in this world, including better health, which I think is really important. The question is often asked, what should be done between the assumption of the wish fulfilled and its realization? And his answer, nothing. It is a delusion that, other than assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, that you can do anything to aid the realization of your desire. Now, this is another deeper part of realization here, folks, because we strongly believe we're the doers, and we're not. It appears to be. But in this paradigm of reality, this is happening right now. What I'm giving to you, what I'm sharing or offering is occurring in the waking dream, a waking state. Most people call it reality. And this is where we could back up some of this information with what Nisargadatta, Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj has stated, that to be a person, to believe that you are a person, is to be asleep. When you wake up to your higher nature, you see that you are consciousness. Everything is known in consciousness. It's the linchpin, it's everything, as I stated. So we move from that, the power of awareness, and we move on to Transurfing, a book called Transurfing by Vadim Zeland. He's written extensively on this. I believe he's Russian background, I believe. Could be corrected on that if I'm incorrect. This section is section 41. And he states, a non-lucid dream in which the events of the dream occur irrespective of your will only has total control over you because you are unaware of the fact that you're dreaming. It is exactly the same in waking life. Until you become aware of the fact that you have allowed your mind to become totally immersed in a problem, circumstances will continue to control you. Stop, shake off the delusion, and remember that reality is a lucid dream, one you can control. Now, to this, I'd like to add the point of, when do you know that you've been dreaming at night? Not during the dream. Although some arise to that point that they're aware of them as they occur. But most people, it's when they yawn, they wake in the morning, they think they wake in the morning, and they go, wow, that was quite the dream. They didn't know it at the time. All I'm offering is that's what awakening to your deeper nature as awareness truly is like. You awaken, you become aware to the fact that what you've taken to be you doing in life was a dream. But that changes everything. Knowing that changes everything in it. And it's why the books on the law of attraction and also books on our deeper nature are related. And this I started noticing about 7 or 8 years ago, that they're talking about the same thing. That the I, the true I of you, is not generated by this thing, the noggin, let's call it, the brain. It's not at all, and that's confirmed by people who are looking into the nature of consciousness. It's called the hard problem of consciousness, how the brain generates consciousness. It doesn't. The brain, our body, and the mind are appearances. Gross for the body, gross, it's more dense, and subtle for the mind in consciousness. And I'd also like to share that this is what makes a couple of verses here from the Bible, which are related to the law of attraction, make sense. For instance, and I'm not a Bible authority. In fact, I only saw these when I was studying the law of attraction. And it talked about relating this to Jesus and the law of attraction. And I thought, well, that's got to be a stretch, folks. What are we doing with this? But no, not at all. Knowing that what is occurring in what you assume to be an outer world is actually happening in mind. Paramahansa Yogananda, mind is the creator of everything. It helps you manifest what you desire rather than working like a slave. Most people sacrifice their lives, their very lives, believing that they got to work hard to achieve their goals. I'm saying this isn't the case, and that's why I'm sharing with you. Uh, I would not feel comfortable not sharing this knowledge. Um, it's in my nature to give and to try to help. Now, what you do with this information is up to you, of course, and that's the way it should be. So, under Matthew 17:20, it has an affirmation, or I used to use it as one to help you manifest, and it says, "If you have faith as small as mustard seed, you shall say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it shall move. Nothing will be impossible." Now, when I first heard that years ago, I thought, okay, are they saying, because I definitely believed I was the body mind then, that if man believed with enough dynamite and enough bulldozers that we could move those mountains? Certainly. That's on a matter to matter base. But then it occurred to me after reading some of Rupert Spira's books, who's a noted teacher of non-duality, about oneness, that everything occurs in oneness, known by oneness. That, wait a second, I thought, what do I really know of a distant mountain beyond the appearance of it? I assume that it's going to be solid, but really what I know at an apparent distance is just the perception of it, the seeing of it. And that's true. It's an object in consciousness, and it's confirmed by our senses. We're only knowing a world through our senses and perceptions, electrical impulses, basically. It's another reason why in Matthew 9:29 we say, it's written, "According to your faith, let it be done to you." Now, a lot of people they hold poor ideas of themselves, or they think they have to be a good person to have great things occur. They believe that a God somewhere in the clouds is blessing them or cursing them. This is not the case. Know your higher nature, and you're going to have a different understanding, a deeper understanding of the nature of reality itself. So let's move into basically how the law of attraction says to manifest. It says to know what you desire, and it's been written of widely or spoken of that most people don't know what they want. They're blowing around like dust in the wind, looking at circumstances, and so they repeat that, and it becomes a loop. If somebody was living in a less than desirable accommodation, and they kept telling themselves, I don't even like to say it, to be honest, but if that person, let's say Bob, kept saying, I am poor, by his words, he's creating more of that. We have to change our paradigm, our inner paradigms, to get a different result. You have to start telling yourself you're healthy, even if you may be surrounded with conditions that don't reflect great health. We have to believe. Like I said before, you don't sink the putt by thinking you're going to miss it. Now, when I was younger, I could see how my thoughts had led to some of the results, but I didn't want to accept responsibility that they'd led to all of them, or at least played a great role. Yes, we interact with other souls who have there in this world, who are also putting out their energies of what they desire. So there's this mix, there's this play in consciousness. But what I am saying is that I agree with what Andrew Carnegie stated in an affirmation that I love to share. And it's basically this: any idea that is held in mind, that is emphasized, that is either feared or revered, will begin to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form. He says form. He doesn't say rock hard reality. Rock hard reality is not real matter. It appears as matter. Your spirit here and now. So let's go into how we manifest. More of what we desire, less of what we don't. Know what you desire. Put one thing into mind that you really desire. Impress it. What is impressed into the mind will be expressed. It's a basic law, a spiritual law. And it's one of the reasons why it's related in the Bible someplace, I don't know where, but where Job, lo, the things he feared came to pass. He feared them. What you're worrying about, you're creating. You're a co-creator of your reality. So let's create more wisely. That's the gift I'm trying to share with you. I am sharing with you. And it's very heartfelt, very sincere. So know what you desire. Maybe now in knowing that, so then believe. So in The Secret, which a lot of people put down by Rhonda Byrne, but she's an awakened being. She knows precisely what she is. And I applaud her for those efforts because she's lifted me and millions of other people. She now has a book out called The Greatest Secret. And I understand that that has a chapter in it that's related to that this is a dream right now. This right now, this presentation is happening in a dream. Out on a limb, Art? Oh yeah, but I don't care. If it can help one person, then that's why I'm here. I hope it can help more than that. So know what you desire. Better health, a new car, a home, maybe an apartment, maybe to see it through these troubling times. A lot of people are really worried with what's going on. Personally, I don't impress it into my mind unless I want it. I believe, like what was stated in one of my Law of Attraction books, if there's a troubling thought, shake it out like you would a stone from your boot. Why keep it in there? If you don't want to see it, don't think about it. Let it go. Worried about world conditions? I'm sorry, but I'm suggesting don't focus on it. Turn off the media unless it serves you, unless it's positive. So believe. Believe that you deserve it. Believe that you can manifest it. And it's got to feel natural to you at some point. Like for me, I do believe that I can share this knowledge, and so it's coming about. This just happened today. Did I plan it? No, but I'm open to it. And then you receive by apparently taking action. So what I'm stating is that this right now is a waking dream. And I have over 50 photo shots I've taken of books stating it's a dream. Nisargadatta, Sri Nisargadatta stated in I Am That, when a seeker said, it's so very hard to call this mental only. And Sri Nisargadatta said, call it a dream and be done with it. Can reality be happening in a dream? Why not? I'm saying that, let's say last night's dream. Did you eat spaghetti in the dream? Did you find any dirty plates around the bed when you awakened this morning? No. It was made of consciousness, the same as this. I'm speaking to you as spirit, aware that mind is creating all of this. So, in a way to impress the mind with what you desire, because what is impressed into the mind will be expressed, I use visualizations. Visualize a scene, a short scene, and play it over and over in your mind. That implies the completion of your desire. If it's a raise you wanted, hey, you're talking with someone in your mind, you're visualizing, hey, I got the raise. For me, I used to do this all the time with my long motorcycle rides. I had an affirmation that I stated every time I got on the saddle, and I rode for almost 200,000 kilometers. Now, at the time, I thought I was the doer. No. But I rode safely because what the mind, it's still going to reflect what you're putting into it. And I said repeatedly, I'm a safe, skillful, alert, and excellent rider, and my riding skills improve each day. And I felt it. And the more I saw that, the more I completed the loop of bringing that about, apparently. It's a story, folks. It's a mental story. Anyway, so visualization and repetition. And you state your goal as though it's completed now. Time and space are rendered by consciousness. So if you say it's going to be out into the future, or I will be healthy, as Neville Goddard said, to say I am healthy is much more powerful than saying I will be healthy. So even though this goes against what your practical mind, your logical mind is going to tell you, you have to state I am healthy now. There is no tomorrow, folks. And the best way I can illustrate this is Eckhart Tolle, who wrote many books, but including The Power of Now, which is a spiritual book. He related once in a presentation that he went into a pub, or he heard of this, let's say England or Scotland, and it said free beer tomorrow. So now a lot of people will chuckle at that, but there might be the odd person that thinks they're going to go back tomorrow and find free beer. Of course, when tomorrow comes and they step into the place, it's now. You can't step into the future, folks. There is no future. It's a concept in mind. The present moment, nowness, is all there is. Moments, time, space appear in consciousness. Anyway, I hope that this has been of service to you. Repeat those goals and feel it. Feel the aliveness as much as you can. Engage your senses and imagine. Do this in a relaxed way and set it out. I would also suggest reading some spiritual books, including mine, if you like, This Taste of Flesh and Bones. It's available through Amazon. I discuss enlightenment, or relate about enlightenment and endless possibilities. Why are they endless? Because if you can imagine it, and if you can imagine it for you, you can have it. I'd also like to share, in summarizing here, a book called The Nature of Consciousness by Rupert Spira. He's a teacher of non-duality, certainly knows about our true nature. He's written many books, including The Transparency of Things and several other books. It was watching some of his presentations on YouTube that helped me clue into the deeper reality of this too, where he was basically saying that perception is the world. It's not perception of a world, because that implies that the world is there separate of your perception. No, perception is the world. How can that be so? When you're dreaming. You move from deep sleep to the dream state to the waking state. And I like to think of it this way: the small you and the big world arise together, and they fall together. What's going to appear in this big world is related to your beliefs. That's empowerment. Anyway, bye for now. I hope you've gained something from listening to this. Bye for now. See you soon.